incident turned into something far darker: an abduction, a ransom case, an international manhunt, and a murder investigation. At the center of it was a Ukrainian man named Ihor Komarov, also reported as Ihor Komarov. He was 28 years old, traveling in Bali with his girlfriend, the influencer Yeva Mishalova, and people connected to a world far removed from the calm tourist image of the island. The strange thing about this case is how normal it looked at first. The first images were ordinary: a couple on vacation, social media posts, food, beaches, lifestyle content, and a Valentine's Day trip that looked like thousands of other trips online. But when the timeline is put back together, those ordinary posts start to feel different. A photo becomes a possible clue, a location tag becomes a breadcrumb, a romantic vacation becomes a map. To understand why this case became so complicated, we have to step back. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Ukraine became independent, but independence did not instantly create order. Old systems fell apart faster than new institutions could replace them. Money, factories, government contracts, black market trade, and political influence all became things powerful people fought over. In Dnipro, that mix of business, politics, and organized crime became especially tangled. Reporters have described networks where businessmen, officials, racketeers, athletes, media figures, and politicians could overlap. In that world, reputation could travel faster than evidence. One name that appears in reporting around this background is Alexander Petrovsky. Media reports have accused him of underworld influence and extortion links, though those claims must be treated carefully. He has denied allegations, and not every accusation has been proven in court. Petrovsky had a son, Alexander, often referred to as Yermak. According to reporting, Yermak grew up with that reputation following him. Another figure in the same social circle was Ihor Komarov. Igor and Yermak were part of what some call the Golden Youth, children of wealthy or powerful men surrounded by money, protection, and names people recognized. There have also been claims, especially in Ukrainian media and online reporting, that people in this circle were connected to scam call center operations. Those claims remain sensitive and not fully confirmed. But the alleged model is familiar. Callers pretend to be bank staff, brokers, or crypto advisors. They create panic, tell victims their money is at risk, and pressure them into moving funds into accounts controlled by criminals. Whether Igor's exact role in that world is proven is a separate question. But by the time this case unfolded, investigators and reporters were already looking at the possibility that this kidnapping was not random. Igor was in Bali with Yeva Mishalova. Yeva and her twin sister had built a social media brand around lifestyle, family, work, faith, money, and success. Their content showed the polished surface: travel, beauty, relationships, and the idea that followers could learn to live the same way. But social media can do something dangerous. It can turn real life into a map. In January and February of 2026, Yeva's posts showed that she and Igor were in Bali. She shared clips from the island and pieces of their routine: food, shisha, quad bikes, rain photo shoots, and Valentine's Day moments. To ordinary viewers, it looked like lifestyle content. To someone looking for them, it may have been something else entirely. On Valentine's Day, Igor bought her flowers. They were together, moving through what looked like a romantic holiday. There was nothing on the surface to suggest it would be their last full day together. Later that night, Igor went out with friends to ride motorcycles in the Badung area of South Denpasar. One of the people with him was Yermak. At around 10:20 p.m., the night changed. Igor was near the rear of the group when a black vehicle intercepted them. Men got out quickly. Witnesses described the movement as fast, coordinated, and deliberate. It did not look improvised. It looked planned. Yermak was also attacked. According to accounts around the case, he managed to defend himself with a knife, injuring one of the attackers badly enough that they left him. But Igor did not get the same chance. He was overwhelmed, forced into the vehicle, and taken away. The road was left behind. The motorcycle was left behind. The witnesses were left behind. And Igor was gone. His friends alerted authorities. Police began looking for the vehicle and taking statements. But for the next few days, the case sat in a strange silence. That silence is one of the most unsettling parts of the story, because while Igor was missing, Yiva's public-facing online world appeared to continue. Posts and collaborations still appeared. To anyone who did not know what had happened, the feed could look normal. But behind that normal surface, a kidnapping investigation was already underway. Then the case changed completely. A ransom video appeared. Igor was alive in the footage, but visibly injured and under extreme pressure. He appeared to be reading a message. He asked his parents to return $10 million that he said had been taken from the people holding him. He said that if the money was paid, he would repay everyone and be returned to the place where he had been abducted. The video was not only a demand for money, it was a public threat, a way to force pressure onto his family, his girlfriend, and anyone connected to him. The clip began spreading through Telegram channels and social media. The case was no longer just a missing person investigation. It was now unfolding in public, with strangers watching pieces of a man's captivity circulate online. Police said they were checking the authenticity of the videos and trying to trace where they had been uploaded from. Then another message surfaced, aimed directly at Yiva. In it, Igor told her not to believe rumors that he was already dead, because if people believed that, no one would send the ransom. He said nobody would find him. He repeated that he needed urgent medical help and asked whether Yiva could speak with her family to see if they could help pay. By this point, every hour mattered. Another clip reportedly included references to scam call centers and other people allegedly connected to that world, including Yermak. That raised the same question again. Was this about money, revenge, organized crime, or something even more specific? Police soon found their first major lead. A foreign national, identified in reporting by the initials CH or C, was arrested in West Nusa Tenggara. Investigators said he had rented one of the vehicles used in the kidnapping under a false name. From there, police worked backward. They reviewed CCTV. They mapped GPS data. They followed the movement of a rental car and motorcycles. The trail led them to a villa in Tabanan. Investigators came to believe that Igor had been held there, assaulted there, and filmed there. Inside the villa, police found bloodstains. Blood was also found in the rental vehicle. Those traces mattered. They connected the abduction scene, the vehicles, and the place where investigators believed the ransom footage had been recorded. But by then, the case had already reached its worst turn. On February 26th, human remains were found near the coast in Bali. Because of the condition of the remains, identification was not simple. Investigators sent bone samples to the National Forensic Laboratory and looked at visible markers, including tattoos, while waiting for DNA confirmation. Soon after, DNA testing confirmed what investigators feared. The remains belonged to Ihor Komarov. The kidnapping was now a murder case. Police later named 6 additional foreign suspects, identified by initials including RM, VK, AS, VN, SM, and DH. Some were believed to have left Indonesia. Others were believed to still be in Bali. Indonesian police requested help from Interpol, and red notices were issued so the suspects could be tracked across borders. That detail matters because this was no longer just a local crime. It had become an international investigation involving foreign suspects, multiple passports, possible criminal networks, and a victim whose background was surrounded by allegations and unanswered questions. Igor's family did not publicly appear in the way many people online expected. They did not make a widely reported public appeal during the ransom videos. Their confirmed involvement came through the DNA process when a sample from Igor's mother helped identify the remains and connect blood found in the villa and vehicle to the victim. Eva eventually broke her silence. She posted a photograph of herself with Igor, writing that she knew he would see it. In another message, she called him her life and said that she loved him. Later, she recorded an emotional video thanking people for support and saying that she had been writing to Igor on Telegram the entire time, hoping he could still see the messages. Online, though, the reaction around her turned harsh. Some people accused her of exposing their location by posting too much in real time. Others pointed to the Valentine's Day content and the Bali updates as possible clues that helped someone track them. That accusation is impossible to prove from the outside. A post may have helped, it may not have. But the idea sits at the center of the unease around this case, because social media is built to make life visible. And sometimes visibility becomes risk. The motive remains one of the biggest unanswered questions. Some believe Igor was targeted because of alleged financial crimes or connections to scam operations. Some believe the ransom demand was tied to money that the kidnappers claimed had been taken from them. Others warn that too much of what the public thinks it knows comes from ransom videos, online rumors, and statements made under duress. That distinction matters. A man pleading while held captive is not giving a clean confession. He is saying what he is told to say, or what he believes might keep him alive. And while suspects are still being hunted, every detail has to be handled carefully. What is known is this: Ihor Komarov was abducted in Bali while out with friends. Ransom videos were released. Police followed the trail to vehicles and a villa. Human remains were found days later. DNA confirmed the victim's identity. Multiple suspects were named, and the investigation expanded beyond Indonesia. Everything else sits in the darker space around those facts. The alleged criminal circles, the money, the social media posts, the silence, the ransom demand, the people who fled, the people who stayed quiet, the question of who planned it, who carried it out, and who may have ordered it. There is also one final uncomfortable question. If the ransom was real, why did no one pay it? His family, his alleged business connections, his girlfriend's circle, the people around him, all of them became part of the speculation. From the outside, it looks like money existed somewhere near this story. But money being near a situation does not mean anyone is willing, able, or safe enough to use it. Maybe they could not pay. Maybe they would not. Maybe they did not believe payment would save him. Or maybe the people holding Igor had already decided how this would end. That is the part no video can fully answer yet. There is another layer that makes the case difficult to look away from. Almost every part of it exists in fragments. A public post here, a rumor there, a ransom clip that may show the truth, or may show only what the captors wanted people to believe. A police statement, a family sample, a villa, a vehicle, a coastline. None of those pieces explain the whole thing by themselves, but together they create the outline of a crime that feels planned long before the night Igor disappeared. And that is why this case still feels unfinished. The body was identified, but identification is not the same as justice. An arrest was made, but one arrest does not answer who ordered the kidnapping. A ransom demand was recorded, but a demand made under violence is not a clean explanation. What remains is a trail of people, money, movement, and silence. Bali was supposed to be the escape. Instead, it became the place where a hidden conflict surfaced in the worst possible way. And as long as suspects remain outside custody, the case is not really over. It is only quieter. The island moved on. The posts disappeared into feeds. The headlines slowed down. But somewhere inside the unanswered parts of this case, there is still a trail. Who planned the abduction? Who filmed the videos? Who ordered the violence? And why they chose Bali as the place to do it? Until those answers surface, this remains more than a murder case. It is a warning about money, visibility, and the kind of danger that can follow people into paradise.